Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the Thousand Year Reich series. We are going into, what are we going into? November of 1943. All of Europe has basically raised up against the West and the Soviets, and we will just go ahead and get started. We had already determined the weather for this turn. It's fair in the cold, fair in the warm, and poor in the mild. So, we'll just get right on down to this. Oops, not the turn track. National tracks, there we go. There was no declarations of war. Excuse me. So we have just moving counters around. The Germans are up to like 36 production points now. And then they give one to the Italians. And we're doing strategic warfare. He is at +5 because he doesn't have an airplane in Norway. I am at plus... Do I have bomb markers? Yes, I have a whole bunch of bomb markers in Germany, so I end up at plus... Oops, I'm doing undos. Sorry. And I'm at +6. Neither one of... I played an Ultra, and he did not play his subs. I don't even know if he has subs. He did have submarines, but he didn't play them because he was at full factories and figured it wasn't worth it, I think. So he rolled a 3 + 5, which rounds down to a 4, and then I rolled a 2, plus my 6 is an 8. So Germany will actually get a lost factory, and the Commonwealth gets a factory back. And then I rolled for my Ultra 4 turns. And now we're to strategic movement, I believe. Forgot to take bomb markers off again. There we go. Got those out to C zone. Then he picks up, I think he picked up this airplane. Oh no, he picked up an airplane in the east and brought it over to the west. So he's got a, it'll have 0 sorties now. It'll have, be full use in December. And then I did a little snarky move. I moved the 10th out of Cardiff into there. That way I can either build something in Cardiff or I can move something into Cardiff and that kind of stuff. I don't think the Soviets had one. So he activates the German 20th Army. I don't know where the 20th Army is. .2066. Must be over in the east somewhere. Activates the 19th. Goes 1, 2. Did he activate something over? I don't know what's at 2066. What's at 2066? Or 2206, sorry, 2206. 2206. Well, I think he thought about moving the 20th and then decided to move the 19th instead. Okay, now I see what's doing. And then he calls for an assault on Manchester. think he runs up my, it's just running up the British aircraft. So I don't have the fighters to support the ground unit. And let's see. He moved the Spanish here up a space out of Plymouth. And the convoy in London left. Thought about intercepting it, and I said, no, it's probably not worth it. So he just moved it down into Iran. This was us counting. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. I told him he could get all the way to Alexandria. He's like, no, I'm happy. Decided to just stop in Algiers rather than Iran. And then he activates Panzer. Going to be assaulting here. So I think the Panzer is the primary. So that's 3 plus a buddy is 4. And then -2 for the weather in the city. And I start off at 2 myself because I get +1 because I'm an armored unit and +1 because I'm British. So first Canadians. And I think we go to combat commitment. He said I'm not committing, and I did. I committed the bomber command for a point. So that gives me a +3. He rolled a 4, +2 is a 6. I rolled a 1, +3 is a 4, so I was forced to retreat, which I cannot do, so I'm flipped instead. Then this Spanish army moves into Gibraltar, and the German moves over into Tangier. This Spanish army One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't actually get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He moved the garrison into Porto or whatever, but it actually can't move that far. Moved 9 spaces instead of 8. So again, I'm not paying attention. And then he moves the guy in Königsberg to the east somewhere. Again, he's not moving in the right sequence. Bringing over German armies to the east. He's going to have a very dense defense in the east here. Got the Turk out of the way. He was thinking about taking the Turk back around to Turkey down here since I put this armor down here. Made him think. And he moves the... Decided... Couldn't make up mind where the Turk go. Did that Turk. Got that Turk in there. Moved that infantry into the line. So he has German infantry in the line. And I think he decided not to do that because he's at 23 and he's counting how many points he needs to do what he wants to do as far as airplanes and stuff, and he decided he had to stop there. So that was the Germans. They go to their supply subphase. He supplied the Italian and the German. Did he supply the German as well? And the German down here in Basra. Okay, just making sure there. And those got supplied out of Algiers, and we're on to... Now he's supplying out of England here. He decided to escort, I believe. Put that guy in supply. And then when he went for the armor, I decided to try and intercept with the armor. It's a very long shot because I'm +2 for American, -2 for the weather, and -2 for sortie. So I'm at -2. And he's at -4. Oh, I think he actually went... Might have done this with a German one alone. Yes, I think that's what he did. And then I couldn't roll. I rolled a 2 -2, so he got the supply through. And then the Italian convoy supplies the 2 German units in the south. And we're into Western action. So I start running a bomber campaign. What am I doing? Hitting undos. So I just kind of flew it there, and he says, go. I'm not going to intercept it. So he just let me have my 4. Did I get 4? Or I got 2? Got 1 from the British, and 2 from here, so I have 3, I think. Right? I have 3 in there right now, and now I'm moving the American bomber on a convoy to here. Actually, I went into C Zone 7, so that's 4 movement points. I was trying to convince the Italians to come out and put some sorties on themselves. And he said, no, thank you. So I went there, and then I just landed in Cardiff. And then that was 3, 4 into 7, 5 into 9, land in Cardiff. 6 into 9, 7 to 7, and then 8, 9, 10. And I end there. And move that convoy back over there. So getting ready to be able to start shipping stuff in. And then I ran that bomber in, and he decided not to intercept me. With being at +6, he can just play his subs and get a factory back, no problem. So, then I played the surprise attack marker in the Persian Gulf. Activated the BEF along with the American fleet and convoy. Invaded at Kuwait, which is undefended, so I just get to land there. And then I attack the Turk. And I'm +1 for the Brit and +2 for the fleet support. So I start off at +3, -1 for attacking. Someone. There we are, +2. We go to combat commitment. He throws Axis ground support, of course. And I threw my tanks so that I got up to +4 to +1. I rolled a 9, so I did my part. He rolled a 5 and only was retreated. So I get to push up and basically recapture Kuwait. With the threat here now is to actually, if I can land the 9th in Kuwait, and then long-term attack the Turk, cut off the German. And he kind of is going to see that coming next turn. And I chose not to put the fleet and convoy into Kuwait at this point. And instead, then I pick up the airplane with the convoy and come in there so I can supply that way. And I think we do something up here. I think I have the American airplane going after his German airplane, if I remember right. Maybe not. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Yeah. He rolled a 5, I rolled a 2, so I took 2 support. Then I rolled basically a 1 to a 2 again, so I went up to 6 sorties to his 2. Shouldn't be at 6. Oh yeah, and he's at 3. So, and then I attacked with the 9th Air Force and ran him up to 5. Then just got the home guard over here so I can transport it easier next turn. And man, supply phase? Yep. So I ran up the American convoy in the Middle East. Moved the Russian up to the front line. I got this infantry out of the way, put the shock army there, and then moved. Oops, come on. Moved another infantry up to the lines. Just playing some position games with the Russians. And that was the no supply phase. He had to lose the Spanish because he went to no supply, and he's only a half step. He's a garrison unit, so. And now we're into replacements. He brings down his convoy for the Germans and all of his airplanes. Did he? No, he did not. Okay. Now the Italians. I didn't bother to intercept his Italian fleet when it was supplying itself. And the Italian Air Force got to being at full strength. Next up is, yeah, got to do his convoy down there. Now I'm doing the west, and I think it's here that I see that I had left the surprise attack marker there, and we know I'm going to build it right away, so we just put it 4 turns out, so it's coming back in March. The Americans are free there. Bring down all the American stuff. And then I spent 6, so this is 10. That's one of the reasons why I didn't attack anything down here, is because I needed to have all my British points to flip over everybody and get all my airplanes back. And of course I get all the American airplanes back too. And the Soviets just flipped their armored unit. Where are we at now? Upgrades. Okay, so here we go. The Russian upgrade phase. Guards, tanks, armies come out. So I've got 4 guards, tanks, armies. Then I'm going to lay down 4 guards, armies. First one goes into Leningrad, of course. And the next one is out here outside of Belaluki. Down here in the open terrain where I need to have some mobility. Oops, I need the back button. Where else did I put one? Oh, yeah, outside of Smolensk. A couple in the south, and then one sort of in the center there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that's it for my upgrade phase. Mobilization for the west. Do I have anything to build? I had stuff to build for the British, but I don't have any points left because I had to replace everything. Soviets built their convoy in Leningrad. Oops, I went right by the diplomacy phase here. Let's bring up the diplomacy cup. And I believe the Germans actually pulled here. They got a no event. Then I had the West pull. They got a political success and they went, yay! Let's put a pro marker in Ireland. And then the Soviets just... I thought about putting the political success back in, but that would have taken the cup up to 13 or 12 points. So it'd be 3 and 12, and right now it's 2 and 10. So I probably should have. It would have been a little bit better chance, but I didn't. So now we're at end of turn. This is easy part here. What do we get? December. So nothing going to be happening there. Wrong card. And so stuff's just going to come off the turn track. Get back my tanks markers. Germany gets ground support, surface action. Their economic reforms goes out to April. Americans get an armored unit to build, an ultra, and my partisans. And then I think we are to the Moscow Treaty. Oh, they had a variable entry for the British. It was terrible. I rolled a die and I got 5 turns, so it's like May. It's when the BEF will become a real boy. And then I rolled a 4 for the Moscow Treaty, which means that it ended. So the Russians are back in December of 1943. And so we go set the Wills markers to 45, not that it matters, and we put that on the track. And move the garrison, his eliminated garrison, down to being able to be built next turn. And I believe we are done here. And then we will go into weather should be next, I think. Bring up the charts. There we go. And then he rolls a 3, 6, 6. So in December, February, that's poor in the cold zone, and a severe and a severe. So nothing happening on the rest of the world. But we have poor weather in the east, so maybe we'll actually do something there. Here in December. And there was no declarations of war, economies, just could be moving markers around. The Germans are down by 2, but they got reforms back, so they're going to stay at 13 plus 5, 18, 36. The British are all the way up to 20. No, 18, sorry. The Russians are at 38 because they have 20 factories. Well, they have 6 factories minus 1 is 5, and then they have 5 from the Lend-Lease here and 9, so that's 19. So they're at 38, just like the Germans are at 36. Hitting back again. I keep hitting the wrong button. And I don't think he gave any to his... No, he didn't give any to his allies. So now we go into strategic warfare for the against the Soviets. The Soviets are actually at plus 4 because he conquered Portugal in 43 when he was running around doing stuff and taking out Gibraltar. So he's up to 10 conquered countries. So I get plus 4 for the Russians. And he only has Vasta, so he gets plus 2 as the Germans because he doesn't have an airplane in Norway. And then we have, I think we go to combat commitment. And we both committed, which was kind of expected. So I played my partisans. What are we doing here? There he is, partisans. Why is his sub not out? He didn't play his sub. Well, anyway, he rolled a 3, and I rolled a 6. My partisans come back in 2 turns. He didn't play his subs. I thought he played his subs here. No, he plays his subs against the West. That's what it was. So he got a 5 plus 5 is a 10. I got a 7, halved to a 4. So it's a 5 to a 4. So we each got a factory back. So he lost one against the Russians, got one back. That's what it was. And then he rolled a 2 for his subs. I rolled a 1 for my ultra. So we're getting those things back. Now we go to strategic movement. I have no idea what he did here. Oh, he took the German infantry that's in Tangier down the rails, and the roads, and la-ta-da-ta-da, and it ends up in Turkey. Very long train ride there for December of 1943. Western, I don't think I had one. And the Soviets... I don't think I had one either. So we're in the action subphase for the Germans. It's poor weather over here. We got the bomb markers out. It's severe in the west. So he goes ahead and assaults up here. This area, I think. Or if he bothers to. Alright, we're going to go to combat commitment here shortly. I threw in an airplane. He did not throw anything in. So he rolled a 2 plus 2 is a 4. The minimum I can get is a 3. Because I'm plus 2. And a 4 to a 3 won't do anything, so we don't even bother to roll. He attacks here with this infantry being the primary, so he's 2, 3, 4. Minus 1 for the weather. And that was the primary. I think we went to combat commit again, and he didn't commit, and I did. It's just kind of like getting me to use up my airplanes. So he rolled a 4, and again, I'm at plus 2. The minimum I can get's a 3, which I did. Then he does, basically he's doing wherever he's got like 3 hex attacks. So we're attacking the guards unit here. Did he commit to this one? And neither one of us committed here. So he is 2, 3, 4, minus 2. Should be plus 2 to plus 1. And he rolled an 8, of course. The minute I don't commit an airplane, he rolls high. And I rolled the minimum, so he got a 6-1 split. 8 to 2 is a DD, so I'm flipped and retreated. And he takes it with the German infantry. This German infantry goes 1, 2, and is going to attack this guards unit that's kind of sticking out here, along with this one. So he's plus 3 minus 1, so he's plus 2 to my plus 1, and I don't remember if I did anything here. And he did not commit, and I did. So, yay. That's +2. +2. He rolled a 6, I rolled a 5, so I stopped that one. And then I think now he's flying airplanes, I think. Flew that airplane into the east. And had the Turk get the heck out of Dodge. He didn't want to give me that, the isolation thingy that I was talking about. And he moves the German out and around. And it's severe down here, so he's +2 and halved, and I'm +1 and halved. He's just trying to get me to retreat back into Kuwait. But I've been thinking last turn I would have brought the 9th infantry in as well, but I wasn't thinking. Because that way I wouldn't be allowed to retreat, I'd just lose a step. But he rolled a 4, halved to a 2, so he can't push me. I come back to the east, and he goes, let's go here. I think the Africa Army is the primary. So he's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -1, so he's +5 to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1. Yeah, he's 5 -1, so I threw in a. He's not committing his airplanes. He's saving them for defense, which is kind of a good idea. And he rolled a 4 + 4 is an 8. I rolled 1 + 2 is a 3. Again, I'm rolling my ones. I flipped and retreated. He chooses not to take the hex. Instead, he does this. He brings this infantry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to attack him. He's at +1. I'm at -1. I don't remember if we committed here. I know I did. He did not. So I went ahead and used the airplane in Rostov to get myself up to 0. +1 to 0. He rolled a 2. So no pushing there. And then I think he's going to. Is he flying an airplane? I'm trying to figure out what that 6 is. Yeah. He flew his airplane down in the south to try and take out Rostov, so it wouldn't be available for me to do attacks, and he got a 6. And I was already at -5, so I was going to get a 1, so that's 3 sorties. So he's happy with that. This Turk left. German moved in. He only had so many points to move, and he decided he wanted to put an infantry in there rather than a garrison unit. And then he moves the Spanish into Tangier. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he's got his airplane going after this airplane. He was -1 net, I was -2 net, so he got a 5 and I got a 3. So I took 2, he took 1. I think he stopped there. Yeah, he goes into a supply subphase, so he's going to supply, or lets this guy go into low supply. just supplied the one infantry down here in facing the British. And then he does England. Uses his surface action to escort the German convoy. And it was severe, so I would have been a 0, and I needed to roll very high, and I didn't. So he comes back in 2 turns. He gets the armored in supply. Lets that guy go to low supply. Supplies 2 guys in the south. Or no, he only supplies 1. Unless the guy in Southampton go to low supply. Why we're doing that? Okay, and then we go into a Western action subphase. So, I have my airplane take out his, and then I had the other American airplane take out his other 4-point airplane. I do not know why I did not use the British. Oh, I didn't replenish that British aircraft last turn, that's right. So I came through and said, do you want to intercept me? And he said, no, no. I was counting very carefully, and I make it all the way to Frankfurt rather. So that's 1 from the British, or from the Americans. Then I just flew right into the teeth of his Italians with this bomber with 5 sorties. He said, no, go ahead. So we went all the way to Berlin. Then I had the other American bomber up here. Go there, and his last sortie was to go in there, which he didn't bother to. I think he tried to intercept me there. Maybe. So I had the guy in Birmingham. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, hello. 5, 6, 7, 8 for the city, 9, 10 for the unit, since he's at -2, even though we're halved. Did an assault there. Brought the American, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the river, 6, 7 for the city, 8, 9 for the unit. Declared assault there. Then I brought the American brought the convoy in here. I had to stop and let him possibly intercept me because I think he still has, doesn't he? Yeah, he still has the German surface action marker. He said, no, that's okay. And then I picked it up and went into Liverpool. And then I'm going back out to sea. It's like, where do you want to intercept me? And he chose not to, I don't think. Then I moved the Gibraltar guy up into Belfast. And did I attack down here? Yes, I think I did. So minus, it should be at +1 to his. I threw my partisans on top of him, so he'd be at a 0. And I'm at +1. I'm just trying to get him to retreat, because he can't retreat into Basra. If I can force him to retreat and take the hex, then Basra's capturable by me with the BEF. even if he retreats to the rail, into the rail line up above it or whatever. So I thought it was worth it to try. I rolled a 4, halved to a 2, so I can't do anything. Then we're going to do this one over here. It's 1 plus 1, so it's plus 2 minus 1. I'm plus 1 to his 0. And I rolled a 2 plus 1 is a 3, so I can't roll dice worth doodly squat. And then I rolled a 6 for my partisans, so they're not coming back in forever. And 6 turns. I'll be here in June of 44 when it won't matter. I think I'm just doing supply here, right? It's 2 on the Americans. And we go into the Soviet action subphase. So I don't really have as much to do with the Soviets as you might think. So this airplane decides to attack that airplane. I rolled a 2, he rolled a 1. Then I attacked with this airplane. -4 to -2. Or -3 rather. And so he got a 2, I got a 1, so just rang him up. This one attacked there, -4 to -2. I rolled a 0, he rolled a 1, so he took a sortie. And then again, I rolled a 1 and he rolled a 2 net, so, and then it was like run him up. Just get those German airplanes out of my hair. And I had a 3-hex attack here. This guy was the primary. So he's a guards unit. So he's +1 for being guards. +2 for shock, +2 for armor, -1 for the weather. And he's at a 0. There we go, combat commitment. Yeah, I believe so. I chose not to, and he chose to do it, so he's going to be +4 to +1. Puts out his other ground support, +4 to +1. I roll a 1. He rolls a 4, so my 5 doesn't go anywhere. He rolls 4 turns for his support marker. I think I have 3-hex attack down here with the guy that's not across the river. This guy here is the primary. So I am 1, 2, 3, -2, so I should be +1 to +2 to start off with. Go to combat commitment. We both threw tanks, so. And I threw in the airplane that was. I had flown this airplane down from up north in Smolensk to help out in the battles down here in the south. So I was an extra +2, so it was +3 to +3. Go, and I rolled a 1 again. I rolled a 6. I rolled a 3 rather. Total of 6. I think I had one more attack. Flew the airplane back up and went after this guy. Throw a tanks marker on this dude and my airplane. So he's 1 plus the tank, so he's actually 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 -1. Should be +6 to +2 in the net. And I rolled an 11. Yay! And of course he rolled high enough to just be flipped. I was hoping he would roll like a 1 or a 2 and get DD'd, and then I'd have officially killed a German unit, but I can't do it. So he's flipped. And I think it came down here, moved in like this so that I would cut off any retreat for this guy. We're just trying to kill the Turk. So, good 0, 2, 3, minus 2 should be plus 1. I throw in my tanks. I don't think he had anything left. What are we doing? I guess we're doing combat commitment. I didn't know that he had anything. Oh, he did have a ground support left. He chose not to use it, so I threw my tanks. So it makes one of these guys plus 2, so it's like plus 4 minus 2. So I'm a net plus 2 to his 0. I rolled another 1. He rolled a 6, so I think I'm done there. Go to the no supply phase, nobody takes anything off. Replacements for the Axis. So he flips over his guy for 1, and then does his airplanes. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And that's why you see the Germans sitting around on like 22 or 21 or whatever. They're just like, yeah, I got to keep 20 points in my pocket because I'm so committed to England. If he wasn't committed into England, you'd only have to be spending 18, and he could have a little bit more mobility. But then again, by holding me up in England, he's keeping me from getting to France. So it works. And now I think we're doing the Italians. Flipped over a guy. And now I think I'm doing the Americans. Yes. So the Americans get done. I spend 3 on the British. Spend 3 there. That's 6. 7, 8. I spent with 2 in the combat, so I've spent 8. I should be down to like 10. I do that airplane for 3. Bring down the bomber command. And then I think I'm just doing the Americans. Then we go over to the Soviets. Bring all down the airplanes. We're in the production phase was just, the Allies, the Americans put out their army. And now we're doing end of turn phase. So we're almost done here. I go to end of turn phase for January. Get Russian tanks, another Ultra, another fighter, and a bomber or ground unit. Be able to build. I get a surprise attack marker. The Russians get a surprise attack marker. So everybody's got a surprise attack marker except the Germans. They have one coming in, is it February? Yeah. They'll get theirs next turn. After the January turn in February. So they'll have one for the summer of 44. And then he rolls the weather. And the weather is a 266. Does that look familiar? He had a 366 last time. So everything stays the same. It's poor in the cold zone and severe. So once again, in England and the Middle East, not a whole lot is going to happen in severes. And then we've got poor weather. He's mounting a decent offensive here in the poor weather in Russia. He's pushed me back away from Kharkov and has a very solid line that I don't seem to be able to pierce no matter what I do. So there is that. Yeah, this is not Yeah. Normally in poor weather, you get halfway decent attacks and like take a hex or so with the Russians, and it's only the Germans that are advancing, not the Russians. So there you have it. That's November and December of 1943 in the Thousand Year Reich series. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button because YouTube algorithms use the likes and views to decide if it's something that someone searching for unconditional surrender should see it in their list of things that they're searching for. So it lets more people be able to see these videos. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.